What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? We are back, SSC Podcast, hosted by myself, MM2K, and my homie, Project Storm. Storm, how are you doing today? This fine, I guess, afternoon, we can call it?
I'm going to tell you this, man. Got a lot to say. Some of it people might not really understand. Some of it people might not like.
Yeah.
We got to do it today, man. We really have to just do it, man. We can't think about it. We have to just do what we have to do. There's a lot to be discussed, man. A lot to be celebrated. A lot to be said. A lot of people to get back at for some things. And hey, man, you know, SSC Podcast has become one of the best places to do this as far as being straight up front. I'm talking about the real, not the fake real, the real, just keeping it as real as possible. So we're going to continue to do that for the people, man, MM2K, but I feel really good about it. I don't think we have enough time on the slot today. So we might have to hit YouTube up and ask them for a little bit more time to go overtime or something if we don't get all these points because, bro, I can't wait for this thing to kick off, man. So I'm going to pass it back to you just so we can kick it off earlier versus later.
Facts, bro. Hey, look, man, yeah, there's a lot to cover. Silly season, man. It's silly season, and we're going to talk about it. And on the docket today, it's all related to this killer Stadia Keynote yesterday. Bravo, Stadia, bravo. We're going to talk about that keynote yesterday.
You better believe it.
Then we're going to talk about Madden and FIFA. You know, there's still a lot of talk around that. And I think it's starting to hit people in the gut as far as what's going on with this game on Stadia. I've been talking to some of my friends and DMs behind the scenes, and I'm tasting a little sodium, Storm. I'm tasting a little salt on the tacos. So I think they finally understand because my bro was laughing at me. Shout out to Next Gen 720. I'm going to be referencing him a lot. My brother sent out a funny tweet earlier today. He said they're gonna put me on the stand because I lost my way. So I guess we're gonna line something up for y'all. That's gonna be a great show once we get that lined up. But I'm from the school, despite what platforms we like, Storm. I'm from the school of Next Gen 720, and this is gonna be one of the shows where we take the biggest knife out of the drawer and cut the BS out, man. We just got to do that. But with that said, great to be here. Glad to be here. You know how we do now. We used to pay the bills at the beginning. We're going to pay the bills at the end. So, Storm, we're going to go right into what my brother been playing. Storm! What have you been playing since last episode, brother?
Oh, right here on Google Stadia, I've been playing. I did another negative latency stream, and Stadia does not come after a brother. I appreciate you, Stadia. They don't come after a brother talking about Storm. You're going to just steal our name, our technology like that. But it's not about that, Stadia. It's about highlighting the performance of your platform. So please don't come after a brother. I'm just a lowly YouTube streamer, you know? So I did episode 13 yesterday, man, where I played a host of games. I started out with Madden because my brother kept talking about this Madden.
Yeah.
And I had to remember that I was the king. I ain't the GOAT. See, the GOAT goes to Next We Go Hard. That's Wolfgang. He's the GOAT when it comes to the Stadia community right now. So I can see how easily I can let him have the throne. But
Shout out
Madden
to Knicks.
21 was running so good. MM2K now, since launch, this game has been running excellent. I think it's even better than it's ever been, bro. When I hopped on it yesterday, I got into a match right away. First
Woo.
attempt. Some people thought that it would be no players available to play after 2 or 3 weeks. I know somebody had that mindset before. I couldn't remember who it was, but I know somebody had the mindset out there that Madden after a couple weeks will. I don't know, but here's the deal, right? There's still players playing Madden. The top 100 leaderboard keeps shifting every day. You know, and Madden 22, I'm excited for it. We're going to be talking about that during the show, man. So I was on that first, right? I hopped over to, in no particular order, Destiny 2, Dirt 5. All these games were brilliant on the platform. I had no hiccups, no latency, no lag, no issues, man. Hitman 3, Mortal Kombat 11. I jumped in, and before I got in the match, I said, "Yo, I know when I click the rank button, I'm gonna find a match. I'm not even worried about that because I always find a match on Mortal Kombat 11."
Yep.
So, but I thought about something in MM2K, man, and I said, "Yo, with all these moves, all these devices in people's homes now." And we're talking about 80 plus million, man. All these devices, somebody somewhere has to be signing up for Stadia right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when they sign up for Stadia right now, they're going to realize that some of their favorite IPs are on the platform. IPs. You know, you'll hear me say IPs with the small S on it. I know it's intellectual property. I know what it means and all that, right?
Yep.
But you're going to see a lot of IPs over here, man, that people can just jump on because some of them might be their favorite games to play anywhere.
Yep.
So why would they not want to try them on Stadia? Well, the haters will say, because the internet stormed the bandwidth, you know what I mean? The lag, the latency. So I think negative latency, I know on my end of things, it's really proving the haters wrong, in my opinion, man, because I'm not really having those issues and I'm playing out there and playing different games, man, at what I think is a high level. And I just want to leave it at that. So that's what I've been playing, man. A lot of those games and others.
That's what's up, bro. Speaking of, negative latency proving a lot of the haters wrong. I mean, I know earlier on, Storm, closer to launch, there was the whole debate of, this is 10.7 teraflops, but I don't see the ray tracing, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it did sound like that. It did sound like that too.
And Digital Foundry was out there, and we will be talking about them because something that I just caught a wind of before we went live. Like these brothers just can't keep their foot out their mouth, man. It's a damn shame to be so smart.
But shout out, we'll get to it.
Yeah, it's a damn shame to be so smart, but to act like such numbskulls. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you got to do is do some due diligence. The non-brightest person can do a little research before they hit send and be like, oh, okay. And it just amazes me that you have such a brain trust of smart people. Digital Foundry, they're very intelligent people that just refuse to just kick those tires just a little bit before they say silly stuff all over the social media. I don't understand it, but maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because my career forces me to double check things before I commit to it. I don't know. But with that said, you had a lot of that bogus whining and crying over the 10.7 teraflops and all of the stuff. But here's the reality of it, folks. Stadia may not, as far as fidelity is concerned, 1v1 be outshine a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X at every level, but it looks hellified good. And if you don't believe me, go ask the developer of the initiative who couldn't get an Xbox Series X, even though he's developing a game for the platform. Couldn't get an Xbox Series X, was able to get a hold of Resident Evil 8 in 4K HDR on Stadia and was praising it. So that speaks a lot to the fidelity and, as my brother talks about, the negative latency and all that great stuff that Stadia provides. Saw an interesting poll to Storm, or not, it was a poll and then it was a thread in Reset Era. So Reset Era is one of the, it's like the Fight Club of forums. You know what I'm saying? And I might post a picture of it later, but it's surprising, Storm. We get your thoughts on this real quick before we tackle these topics. It was surprising, Storm, that, on the mainstream gaming side, on social media, you hear a lot of people that say Stadia sucks. Stadia sucks. The latency is too high, and you know, and xCloud destroys it as far as performance. Stadia sucks. But when you go to Reset Era, see, these people actually play games there. They might get into a lot of effery in there, but they actually play games. So the people that actually play games, and I was in the thread talking about all the cloud platforms, they told in the thread everything that we've been saying. They said, hold on. Game Pass may have the more appealing lineup to many gamers, but they were like, hands down, overwhelmingly, hands down, Stadia got the better tech. Stadia got the better tech, better tech Stadia. Stadia got the better tech Stadia. So it's just amazing to see that response from people that actually play games opposed to the people that don't touch this stuff. Why do you think, because we're about to get into this anyway, this will be a great segue.
Man, let's get into it.
Why do you think, Storm, that people want to be so vocal about Stadia, so vocal, and not play it when all they got to go to is stadia.com? Why do they want to be so vocal about it without playing it?
Well, it comes down to a couple things, man. They're easily influenced, that's one, by others who have not touched Stadia.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And two, some of them I think, and they have to prove me wrong, man. Some of them I think are just mad because Google got there first. Google was back in Stadia, like I always say, y'all. But we have to answer this every week. We have to, you know, because we're seeing more and more of this. You know, so I had to put it out there. Now, if you all just think about what I'm saying, you may understand where I'm coming from. Stadia was hated since before it was born, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Hated before it was born. Imagine your child being hated before it was born.
Before it even came out of the womb.
Imagine that. Like, how would you feel as a parent, man? Like, that's kind of like how Google has to feel. Like, what? We're trying to do something for the industry and we're getting hate already?
Yeah,
we haven't even launched. We haven't even seen what we can do yet. Nothing, right? So Stadia was getting this hate before SG&E and all this other stuff that we're going to talk about, MM2K.
Yes, sir.
And you've never seen it before. Now, if you've seen it before, I want you to put it out there. I want the chat to put it out there and tell me when something has been more hated than Google Stadia as far as gaming goes.
Facts.
I want y'all to tell me, man, go all the way back to the beginning of gaming time. Tell me something that's been more hated than Stadia. Now, why is that the case, y'all? Well, it comes down to a couple simple things. Stadia has that tech that's out of this world that Microsoft and others are trying to catch up with. They've already admitted that they just don't have the tech that Stadia has, but Stadia's already told us that they had the tech that nobody has.
Yeah.
Some of us chuckled at that. Some of us thought about it and said, damn, that makes sense. Because if you look at Gmail and all this other mind-blowing stuff, without even going to the AI and all that and quantum computing and all this other stuff that Google was capable of, man, you're damn right people are going to hate on Stadia. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they hate on something like that, man? You better hate on something that damn great, or it might take over the damn world. It might, if you let it run wild, might take over the damn world.
Yeah.
Microsoft knows a little something about taking over the damn world, man, because I remember monopoly discussions and all that, right? But this is not Stadia's. If they are aiming at that and they reach that goal, kudos for Stadia. They always believed in what they had. We believe in it. A lot of us, the majority of us up in here. The haters might be hanging out, man. Haters, this is your time to speak up today. Y'all got to let us know, man. If you disagree with something, let us know. Because I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one for the ages here. I can't hold back. You know I can't, and you know I won't. So, that's how I feel about it, man.
Hey, yo, shout out to Chris. Hey, Chris, you a fool for that one, bro.
and not only him, Sean Christopher. He's also a fool for it. So, he said... He said, I see you don't have NBA 2K21 in the title. This is not a good sign. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about that 2K life.
Hey, yeah, we can talk. Look, man. Look.
We'll talk about that 2K life because I have something to say real quick about it.
Yeah, go ahead. Say something real quick. But you know what? I want to shout out Chris. Before I forget. Chris said, to answer our question, what console got as much hate as Stadia? Chris said the Soldier Boy console comes close. Hey, they was talking stupid. But
that was never really, I heard that wasn't meant to be serious. That's like the KFC console that we've yet to get in our homes, man. I mean, sometimes I don't know if you could put it up there as a serious contender of anything. And I'm just shout out to anybody that's trying to enter the industry and all that stuff, man. But come on, let's keep it real here. Come on, you talk about the KFC console and the Soldier Boy console. Come on, man. But good points, though, Chris.
No, he joking.
Good points, Chris. Sean Christopher, man, to get on to talk about the 2K real quick before we get into the show, y'all. I just have a few words, and they are, I wasn't gonna cop the damn game anyway. You know what I'm saying? So either way, even if there were no issues and I didn't see my brother Nick Spiegelhart and other people, I think it was Nick Spiegelhart at the time, and others out there complaining about having the game fixed on Stadia and all that stuff, man, it was just never in my vocabulary, y'all. 2K22 was already off the radar on every platform. 2K21, I only purchased it on Stadia because it was on the low, like maybe what, $10, $11 low? $9.99 or something like that at the time it went on sale. That's the only reason 2K21 is in my library. 2K20, same thing. I got it free on Epic Games. I can't support what 2K is doing until they get it together, man. EA, if you're listening, bring that live out. It doesn't matter what state it's in, bring it out to compete. I'll buy that for Stadia, but 2K, yeah, I'll watch y'all play it. How about that?
Well, my thoughts on it is, and even though I'm with you personally about picking it up and really worrying about it too much personally, I do look at the potential impact of a game that big not being on the platform, and it wouldn't matter. Here's what I would say, though. There's kind of, and I mean this in a very sweet way, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all like kids I ain't never paid child support for. I love y'all, really, I do. But it's two of my favorite movies. 51st Date / Groundhog's Day mentality in this community. Like, you remember the movie Groundhog's Day Storm with what's that, Bill Murray, I think it was, where he woke up every day and it was the same day over and over again and he was trying to learn how to get out of that day. And then 51st Dates with Drew Barrymore, every time she went to sleep, she woke up and it was the same day because she had like a head injury or something like that.
Yes, I do.
We've been here before. Stadia and their cloud counterparts don't always get promoted with the other platforms. Now, I did a little bit of research. It looks like that 2K21, the Stadia logo or the Stadia announcement may have come at the same time. But then, since then, there's been a lot of controversy behind the platform. We've heard from Strauss Zelnick, him talking about, maybe this, he wasn't as kind-worded about a lot of the controversy around the platform. And he likely said, you know what, once we clear the air about what's going on with the consoles, then we'll announce Stadia's coming at a later time. That's what a lot of people are doing right now. I'm not willing, Storm, to play that game, you know what I'm saying, that we keep playing in this community, 51st Dates, you know what I'm saying, Groundhog's Day. When we get 4 to 6 weeks before launch and we don't hear it coming, then yeah, okay. But until we get there, and I think the game is set to launch, October or September? We're not there yet. When we get there, let's talk about it. Until then, right. It not being at a reveal, I'm not even playing that game. Y'all can play those games in those sectors of the community that like to play those games. When are y'all going to learn? When are you going to stop being Drew Barrymore / Bill Murray? In addition to that, my homie Bippity Bop, I saw my brother Akash Monger. They're dropping stuff out there that says there were job entries out there about it. Stadia's doubled down on the platform. We're going to talk about that from the keynote. They're investing more money. So anything that would deter somebody from putting the game on Stadia again, that stuff is going to start to be eradicated as they come out with more dev tools. I'm not talking about NBA 2K22 coming to the platform just yet. We're not in the zone for me to care to talk about as far as I'm concerned. So those are my thoughts on it.
Absolutely. I like it.
With that said, let's get into it, brother. Man, oh man, Project Storm. I originally didn't have this on the docket, but you know how we do. We freestyle with the best of them. Storm. We had that powerful keynote yesterday. It surprised a lot of people. And I get it. There's a lot of crinkle cut people that came out of the woodwork. Shout out to my friend. I'm not going to mention my friend's name. I got a friend, y'all. I brought him up on the show before. He writes articles. My friend blocked me for some reason, though. But you know what I'm saying. He blocked me because somebody else came through. I guess they was joking or whatever. I ain't worried about it. But they was joking and they was talking about Orcs Must Die. And they included a tweet from my friend. And I guess my friend thought I was going to respond to it, to his thoughts. I don't care about people's thoughts. As long as you're not distorting facts, you won't hear from him, M2K, unless you're trying to be silly and try to be an a-hole, and I can show you who's the bigger a-hole. But if you just are venting online, I don't care. I don't care. But my friend blocked me. But the message that I got from my friend is that we need to sidestep or think twice about what we saw yesterday, because Orcs Must Die 3, a patch for Orcs Must Die 3, ain't launching on Stadia the same day that it's launching everywhere else. Look, let me say something. My brother Storm loves Orcs Must Die. It might be one of our games in the Summer Community Championships. I don't know. Great game on the platform or whatever, but we got to keep it jiggy. Orcs Must Die didn't help bring 600,000 signups to Stadia like Cyberpunk 2077 did, or the combo of Ubisoft plus the AAA games. You know what I'm saying? We're celebrating the fact that more AAA games can be ported over, DirectX 11 APIs versus Linux APIs, all that stuff, all that technical bibble babble that we heard yesterday made it seem like that games can come more frequent. That's what we're celebrating. If you want me to stop my celebration of such of an event, because Orcs Must Die 3 patch. Now, it's not leaving the platform, but an Orcs Must Die 3 patch. What is it? New colorful spikes? I don't know what it is. It's not coming the same date on Stadia. I'm not going to do it. So there was that little attempt, and we chuckled about it. We made a little fun about it. We moved on. And I thought that you might see more of that, or my homie King Thrashstorm that hit me up yesterday that was like, this is a desperate move for Stadia because nobody's going, buying into the platform. And I started hitting him with, stuff. And it was a funny, fun-filled thread on Twitter. I thought we were going to see that from the media. But what we saw today blew my mind. We actually had people with the blue check marks that came out there, Storm, and was like, oh my God! The polar ice caps are going to melt. Why? Because Stadia is now giving a bonus and doing profit sharing for Stadia Pro. That if they do this is going to turn gaming upside down on its head and all this. Totally misconstruing that portion of what Stadia talked about in the keynote. So my question to you, Storm, is, what did you think when you saw that time? Because it fizzled out. It got fizzled out, but we're going to talk about it because it shed so much light on something that we've been hammering in on this platform. But Storm, what did you think when you started seeing those attempts to distort the fully positive thing that Stadia talked about in that keynote into something nefarious? What were your thoughts?
Man, well, this is how I feel about it. I could be wrong, but I could be right. We got the secret society, man. They talk behind the scenes. They wait for Stadia to do something positive, and they collectively figure out a way to tarnish that celebration worthy news and information that Stadia puts out there for all of us and all of the future Stadians and all of the people who are just happy to get their hands on it. Yeah, man, that's what their job is. So, kudos for them for doing what they do best. But I'd rather be talking to Bibbidi Bop right here in Torres, man, and talking about Orcs Must Die 3. I want to go back to that, man. Robot Entertainment made a hell of a game.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Me, Bibbidi Bop, 6'4", and others, man, had a wonderful time on, man. So, hey, you go on and you do your thing.
Exactly.
Outcasters, man. They branded or relabeled or whatever they needed to do. No hard feelings. Crater, Facebook, happy for them. Good people. Do what you got to do, man.
Exactly.
Do what you got to do.
Get that bread.
But at the same time, like the brothers in the chat right here, and I got to go up, man, and try to find it because you know how Bibbidi and Torres does, man. So Bibbidi says, Orcs Must Die is dope, though. Gonna have to jump back in. And I saw and me and Bibbidi and I played the game at the same time. We played it together, right? So then there's the other side. Torres said, however, that's light stuff compared to other things Stadia has come out with. This is nonsense. Orcs must die. Please, come on, man. Now, as a gamer, you had the right to feel how you want to feel, but we're talking about something that still may come to the platform down the road with maybe even a Stadia exclusive feature, possibly, because they know the platform. Now, if they're a little upset, because this is what the haters are looking for, but I wonder if they're upset with Google. I bet that's what it's coming down
That's
to.
Yep.
Google right now. So we keep telling y'all that Google just doesn't know how to treat developers. So 85-15. Oh, but still though, Google they don't know how to get games. They don't know how to get all the games that people love to play. You know what I'm saying? And then they just come out with bigger announcements to just slap all the haters down, man. So MM2K, y'all, this right here is something that we're going to have to deal with, unfortunately, as the cloud gaming king, the best in the world, best platform right here that you could play cloud gaming on. It's Google Stadia. Started out with 22. First 12 games got announced. Then they bumped that to 22. All right. They're never going to do anything with the 22 games. That number's at 180 plus, and we got a nice diverse selection of IPs, man. Now they come out here talking about stuff like 85-15 splits, and we're going to turn it into a negative, y'all. Now, I really want y'all to really think for a minute with me, man. Google's out here saying that this is best in the industry. Nobody else is doing this. Not Xbox, not Amazon, not anybody. GeForce Now. Nobody else is doing this, man. They were proud of that. But I'm sure they knew that they were going to get some hate, though, because they've been getting that since day one. So we just got to throw that in there, right? But you're telling me I'm a new developer, indie dev, coming in strong, like a Instinction Games or something like that, man, or any of the other thousands that I'm sure just hoping that Stadia hits them up. Look on Twitter and see the reaction of these individuals when Stadia hits them up, man. Are y'all serious right now? Sky climbers and all that, man. Are y'all kidding me right now, man? Google's out here looking out for them through Stadia, telling them we got y'all back. At the same time, yes, it's going to help the platform, but Stadia Pro is this tool that we've been telling y'all that we could create. Now we want y'all to see the true potential of it. Like in combination with click to play links and all that stuff, we could do this for you. Like we could do this for you. Not only that, we're going to give you $10 extra if you get people to click on this link and all that. So here's the deal. Not only that, but we got the money to do that. Nah, Google, but y'all must be broke because you closed SG&E. Boy, I'm telling you right now. If people don't sit back and use the brain that they were blessed with, man, I don't know what else to say right here, bro. So I'm gonna leave it right there, man. It's just something to think on. But we're smart over here. Stadiums are smart. You know, it is what it is. Haters obviously are acting as if they're not. I just want to have a one-on-one sit down with a hater. I really do, man. Yesterday I said it on my on my negative latency stream. I want the world's biggest Stadia hater. Let's have a sit down, man.
Let's talk about this.
Let's really talk about it. But you got to sound smart though, because I'm gonna put you on blast if you're not. And I don't want you to go backpedaling and everything, saying I didn't know that, Storm. Well, you should have known that before you got on the panel with me. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, because it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. At some point, somebody has to shut that down, man. All right. So let's go on.
Yeah, man. Look, here's the thing, Storm. It's a shame that Stadia. Okay, so Stadia closes SG&E, right? And they're saying we're doing a lot. We're trying to invest more in the platform and deal with our partners. And remember when everybody heard partners and thought that Stadia was going to shut down and they were just going to distribute the technology. They was going to put it in U-Haul vans all across the globe, right? You know what I'm saying? And U-Haul boats and drones, right? And then come to find out that a big chunk of the partners or AT&T, Lenovo, what I mean? Come on, like Asus and OnePlus. Like, come on now. So so they're investing into getting the games that we want. Like, all the information that we need is right in front of us. Poll after poll, time after time. When Stadia asks people, what is it that you want most on their platform? You can go to that damn Reset Era thread. I posted on Twitter. I might post it again here. People talk about Stadia not having the games that they want to play, the multi-plat games. They ain't talking about no damn exclusive. They just want to have the multi-plat games that they want to play and play them on the go or playing with the technology of Stadia. The number one on top of that list isn't exclusives. As a matter of fact, I think exclusives were at the bottom of all these charts every time they did a poll. Okay? So if you have that dynamic, and then they close SG and said, okay, well, this is not something that we really need to invest in right now, so let's divert those funds elsewhere, and they're doing this. They're trying to incentivize third-party games to come to Stadia Pro, more of them, like, for instance, Resident Evil 8. It's not evil if Resident Evil 8, which already dropped on Stadia, through this incentive program, Capcom says, oh, that's mighty damn good. And they hop in on Stadia Pro, and the duration that they're there, because they're helping people come to Stadia Pro, that Stadia says, well, instead of us just keeping all this money, we'll split it with y'all. Y'all the ones helping them come to Stadia Pro. It's like me working with another content creator and me saying, look, you know, you come on the show, we gonna split the super chat. But meanwhile, all this other YouTube money is coming in, and you help the YouTube money come. You know what I'm saying? You got the people all enthused and ready, and they stay for the whole duration, and all this other YouTube ad money and stuff come in, and I just be like, well, you know what? Let me keep that in my pocket. But meanwhile, they stayed because you. So what Stadia is basically saying is, look, you're helping. If you help put this money in, we got analytics to show this. If your help converting people to Stadia Pro, because now we got an incentive program that got more AAAs going into Stadia Pro, and they're not necessarily at launch, we're going to break you off something. That ain't got nothing to do with games as a service. I gave you an example of Resident Evil 8. People look at a subscription model like that, like an Xbox Live Gold, a PS Plus, and they say, oh, there's a bunch of games, great games that are offered monthly. Yeah, I want to sign up for that. It doesn't have to be games as a service. The extra bonus on top of what I already paid you just for being on the service is the money that I was putting in my pocket that was because of you. There's no other way to twist this. And you got people out there like that aforementioned reporter that had to be set straight. You got people like John Linneman at Digital Foundry that don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's trying to compare this to Game Pass, where his angst against Game Pass and models like that ain't got nothing to do with this. This is why I say they so smart, but they act like numbskulls before they hit send. It just proves what my brother just said. There is like a go along, get along tribe that, and I'm telling you, I know this behind. Let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna shut up, Storm. I'm gonna shut up. I swear, because I ain't got to lie over video games. There is a reason why we do what we do here on this platform, whether certain people like it or not. We're here for the people. I'm not here for a personality there or a personality there. We're here for the people. When the people get lied to, when misinformation comes across their airwaves, like how it did for my homie Squid, how it did for my homie Bippity Bop in the chat, you know what I'm saying, and really keeping them away from a purchase decision that would really suit them. We always say, deal with it in decency and order. I don't care, like my friend that blocked me, I don't care he felt some type of way. He ain't have his Geritol that morning. He felt some type of way, went on Twitter and put some crazy foolishness out there. I don't care about that. I wasn't going to respond to it. But when you sit there and you deliberately give misinformation with no care to correcting it, it's not a coincidence this is happening. These are some of the smartest people on the planet that are writing some of the most in-depth articles when it comes to anything else. Why can't they do half as much for Stadia? There's a reason behind it. I'm telling y'all, I am in the DMs with some of your favorite content creators. So let me tell you what I went through today, Storm. I'm in a DM with content creators, and I'm in several DMs with different content creators. So I see one content creator put some information about Stadia somewhere, and I ain't saying, I'm like, well, what's this about? And then I see another content creator have a conversation about Stadia, and they're talking about this. And I'm like, what? What's it? And I was like, oh, they're trying to formulate some plot, I guess, for a show, right? But then I see somebody with a blue check mark, unrelated to this person, drop the same hyperbole and propaganda in the tweet. Come on. People talk. There is an agenda out there. There are some entities that are just writing for publication. They have limited knowledge, yes, and they're not the wiser. Yes, there are cases like that. But I'm here to tell you, because I've been told, we like kicking around Stadia. Xbox people have told me, look, we've already had to deal with Switch coming in and kicking us down further. Now we got the prospects of Amazon and Google doing the same thing. So the Xbox people worry. That's why Phil was so worried and sent that internal letter before Stadia did its GDC in 2019. Then you got people that truly believe, and that came out today. They truly believe that Stadia and Luna are going to kill gaming. That's what they feel. Now, some people are at least upfront about it, like my brother King Thrash, but some people won't admit that. So because they think cloud gaming is going to kill gaming, that's why they do nothing but focus on the negative. They know otherwise, but they only focus on bad information. They know otherwise, that's why they only link to bad articles in their publications. There's an effort behind this. I'm not saying everybody's in it, but trust me, at the center of it, there is an effort. I've seen it at play. I've had conversations with people. I ain't got to lie about video games. We're going to talk about this later. I told y'all, or we told y'all several months ago, Google Alphabet was doubling down on the devs and giving them new tools. We told y'all that back in April and May. And what did you see yesterday? What did you see yesterday? We ain't got to lie about video games.
Been said already.
No, I'm telling you, there is a group in the middle of this that has an agenda that for some silly, stupid reason, they think that a 2% business at best right now in 2021, it's going to get bigger later, trust me. It's going to become mainstream in the future. But a 2% business, because they ain't done their homework, they think a 2% business is out to kill hardware. And because they're idiotic in their thought process, they do these things purposely and they cascade it to the unsuspecting colleagues and the gamers and stuff like that. But there is a collaborative effort. We've seen it today. You don't twist the words or the actions that we saw yesterday into this. And I don't see what I saw behind the scenes from entities that are in total stratospheres apart, unless conversations are being had.
Yes, sir.
And things are being planned out. And with that being said, I digress and I shut up and turn it over to Storm.
That's why I said what I said earlier, y'all. Early in the show, if you just got here, you know what I'm saying? I know this. I don't have to be in the groups to know how human behavior. I know human behavior, man. I know human behavior. We all do. We know that there's people listening right now that don't get down with Stadia, but they came to listen to the SSC boys break this thing down today. You know what I'm saying? We know. We know it for a fact. You know, we also know that there's people out there that's waiting to jump at it. Because see, I notice on Twitter, there's certain trends and patterns you can look for. You know what I'm saying? You go to school long enough, you learn to look for trends and patterns, right?
Facts.
So I see that as soon as somebody puts a negative tweet out there, like some of the nonsense we're talking about right now, oh, there's some like buttons hit, boy, real fast. Bloop, 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 bloop. I like that one. I like it. You did it. You did it. Oh, yeah, man, systematically and all that, right? That's just what I observe, okay? So that's why I'm backing what I'm saying on that, on what I'm bringing up right here when it comes to just Twitter alone, y'all. There's also the same group of people that had the same doubts, same discussions about Stadia after every major move. They try to give it props. Oh, they try hard. They sit back and say, damn, man, I got to do it. If I don't do it, I'll look like a hypocrite. So they're forced to do it. I told y'all this in 2019 that this was going to happen, though. But I don't know if anybody was around then. I don't know if people listened to Storm, man. At the time, I was just this 4K dude just doing things with Stadia, man. I'm still that dude, right? But I pay attention, y'all. I pay attention, so I got a lot to bring to the discussion, a lot of things that you all may see out here. So you know when we say we are keeping it real, this is the real version of real, okay? So we know these things are happening, man, and that's fine. Not everybody's going to be down with Google Stadia, but I damn sure would like to know why you got to keep Stadia's name in your mouth. Is it really fun? to beat it down? Or do you play behind the scenes and it's so damn impressive that you can't for the life of you praise it because of your circle that you're in right now, your collective group?
Facts.
You can't get out here and praise it like you really should, like you really want to, because then you're gonna look like the bad guy. Then your group might frown upon you. Some of that's going down too. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, man. MM2K, a lot was said, and we'll move on. A lot was said in this whole keynote and beyond the keynote. Because I'm telling, bro, this is what I had to tell the chat right now that I'm proud of you, man. Because if y'all were to see these show notes, we had to put notes together today because it was so much that we can't freestyle this. I know my brother talked about freestyling early, but we can't spit this off the top, man. We got to write things down. I have 5 pages of notes right here, y'all. 5 pages. My brother, if y'all saw these show notes today, I'm proud of him because, I told him before the show, I'm going to let y'all know why I'm proud. Because I thought my brother didn't care about all the intricacies and all the little things that make up the technology behind Stadia and all that. But y'all should see the notes. We'll get to it. I'm gonna shut up, man. Let's move on to the next one.
There's a lot, brother. There's a lot. Oh yes,
move on to the next one, man.
Look, I wanna do this, Storm. Here, let me do this.
Oh my gosh!
Before we transfer over. All right. I don't know if people can see this. I'm gonna try to make this bigger. All right, so this is, let me do it like this. Boom. This is Reset Era. And Reset Era, they did a poll. They did a poll of what do you think is the best xCloud, Stadia, whatever, right? PlayStation now. Now, xCloud is overwhelmingly winning with people that just pressed on the poll. And we see that a lot of times. I remember when our good friend PMS Jordan did a poll, which was better, xCloud or Stadia. Remember, Stadia was winning, and then Cole Eastwood got wind of it. Cole Eastwood said, "Oh, MM2K is doing this," and he went and called his goons. And Colt, look, me and Colt may not agree on video games, but one thing I will give to Colt, he got way more goons than MM2K. So he brought out his Xbox goons, and they took over the whole thing. So I'm not worried about the poll. The thing that's interesting here is what is being said in this thread. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, overwhelmingly, Stadia is fantastic. xCloud is good enough. You know what I'm saying? Stadia is the best quality streaming I've used. xCloud is the best package. We're talking about as far as the games and stuff. But overwhelmingly, tech-wise, Stadia without a question. And this person says it has the worst business model, though, which whatever that means. But overwhelmingly, when you go through this thread, and I'll drop a link to it later. When you go through this thread, the people that are proven that they've tried these platforms are saying Stadia, 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 Stadia. So isn't it ironic that the people that are proven to have used it pick Stadia? You and I, on both ends of this microphone, pick Stadia. But the puke pundits that write these articles, that say the stuff that they said today, that clearly haven't touched it, say xCloud.
Hold on, let me see what Charpunk says right here. Now this sounds like he's keeping it real based on my experience. Best value, xCloud. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Best streaming tech, Stadia, and it's not even close. Yeah, but because it's not even close. Hey, I keep saying this, y'all. I have a Series X. I had to let the new people know. I have a Series X. I built my own PC with the RTX 3080 in. I get it in. Halo Infinite, day one when it drops, you're gonna see your boy on it, streaming it, 4K 60, right? But I will say this, y'all. You can have the best games in the world. I know y'all. You all know where I'm about to go with this now, right? Mm-hmm. You can have the best games in the world. All the Call of Duties, all the 2Ks, all the Cyberpunks, all the Maddens, and all of the Apex Legends, and everything else that we love to play, right? You can have all that in a bag, in a nutshell, if you want. But boy, if you don't have that tech to let millions of people enjoy that thing the way that they want to on the go, MM2K, don't you interrupt me, man. I know you want to. Don't do it.
I'm shutting up. I'm shutting up.
If you don't have that tech, now you got to put your head down and bow out. Shout out to Happy Cloud Gamer, man. Y'all know what it is. Happy Cloud Gamer comes up in here and speaks his damn mind. And because he does that,
shout out to Happy Cloud
Gamer. We shout him out. See, we don't shy away from people that keep it real, speak their mind. We don't, regardless of what you think, regardless of what people have said about me and MM2K, Stadia Revolution, Clive, and others that just, put it out there, right? See, Happy said something about the Phil Spencer interview that just happened with I forgot which publication or whatever, man. Y'all know he dropped a tweet on Twitter, right? And damn, Phil sounded like he was bowing out a little bit. Like we're not, like, cloud gaming is not ready yet. So I get what I take that two ways. I could take Phil saying, I want to remind y'all that xCloud is not going to perform at that level that you think right now. Or, you know what I'm saying? Stadia is a better performer. We just can't master that right now. So we're not trying to go up there head to head with them. I don't know which one it really is, but man, it just made me think when I saw that tweet. So shout out to Happy Cloud Gaming, man, for dropping that and making me think today.
Yeah.
Just something to think about.
So here's the thing. Again, I know it's not a food for everybody. Like, for instance, my wife, me and my wife opined on some fish sandwiches earlier today. She loves tomatoes. I hate them. Does it mean that tomatoes are bad? No, it just means that MM2K hates tomatoes. I get that what we do here is not for everyone's dish, but it is needed. Why is it needed? Because the entities that spearheaded those hit campaigns today, the misleading hit campaigns, the misleading stuff to the unsuspecting gamer, they got corrected. And they got corrected in decent order. I didn't really see anybody. I haven't seen it. And y'all know how I get. I mean, I may question and may thought of me, but I didn't call anybody out their name. I called it silly. And in the actual thread when I was interacting with them, I just challenged their thought process. Other people challenged their thought process. And what happened? They stopped spreading the lies. But the sad part about it is they were already 5,000 likes in and a couple thousand retweets in before that happened. But it stopped. We may not have been able to save everybody, but we saved some of our fellow gamers. That's what it's about. And I get some people don't care about that. But as a gamer who has been lied to time after time, made the wrong purchasing decision, wasted so much money because people have had agendas, I wish somebody did for me what we're trying to do for people today. And what I've seen a lot of y'all do today, which is stop the lies. So again, as long as y'all do it in decency, in order, and y'all don't go after people for their opinion. I don't care about their opinions, but go after the stuff that is lacking in fact, and you tell them, hey, hold on. No, that's not correct, bucko. Everybody else does it, and Stadia is no less of a product where we shouldn't do it too. Because we're doing it for our fellow gamers. And secondly, believe you me, I get where a lot of people that are new to this mucky part of gaming, because it is mucky representing Stadia at any level because there's so much hate and ire towards the platform. When you get into this mucky part of gaming, maybe there's not that familiarity of how the mucky people work. But I've come up through the crumb side. For those that are listening, y'all know what the crumb side is. The debates, you know what I'm saying? And the memes and stuff like that on Twitter. I've come up through the crumb side. And I'm seeing crumb side tactics being deployed here. I'm seeing content creators create hyperbole that somehow is reaching to the blue checkmark people. That's not a coincidence. I told y'all last year. I said, y'all gonna have people like Richard Review Tech, Wrong Yeah, whatever, use our rhetoric when we're feeling emotional about stuff. And what happened? Richard Review Tech, you Wrong Yeah, used our rhetoric. We ain't gotta lie here. That's not what we do. Last time I checked, my brother Storm is doing well. I'm doing well. I ain't gotta lie about video games. But what I am telling y'all is that there is a concerted effort, maybe not by everybody, but there is a centrifuge to this effort to misinform about Stadia for various reasons. And if you want to go out there and fact check, as long as you do it in decency and order, that's a good thing to help out your fellow gamer. But understand, this is why we do what we do. If there wasn't the fact checking today, they still would be spreading these lies. No telling how many publications would have got through. And we can't save everybody, but if we can save some, that's a success. That's all I got to say about that. Anything else, Storm, before we get over this silliness and we go to the good news?
I want to say what Simba said. I want to repeat that, echo this real loud. Stadia can do anything and people will still have hate just because it's Google. I said that earlier, Simba. I don't know if you were in the house at the time, man, but this is something that we're going to have to live with, right? Like, again, if you're MVP, a person that rides the bench all the time is going to be looking at you a little crazy. They might smile and celebrate with you, but at the end of the day, they might be like, damn, man, if that was me, and I would get that large bonus, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, man. You're always going to have some haters, you know? So Stadia must be doing something great if people are talking about it in the first place. Now, we should be concerned if nobody's talking about Stadia. I think it's time to be concerned then. But if the haters really knew what I know, they wouldn't go to such extents to hate on the platform, because all it's going to do is going to bring more publicity, right? Now, we talked about this earlier, MM2K. It's going to bring more publicity either way, right? And then what people they're gonna finally say, hey man, let me see what's so bad about this Stadia so I can get in on the fun. But they just might get a reverse effect and a reverse experience, right? They might just say, damn, this ain't so bad. And we see more of that every day. I talk about it all the time. MM2K, you had proof today, bro. You brought it up, man. People are impressed with Stadia. I told y'all we had people apologizing to Google Stadia about listening to the dumb stuff. So don't be one of those people, man. We're going to keep it rolling, though. Now, why do we do this every day? Why do we get up here every week, y'all? Grown-ass gamers getting up here talking about Google Stadia and our appreciation for it. Well, because we're gamers. You got to double underline gamers, right? First, we appreciate the craft, the hobby, the industry, the evolution of it. We appreciate that, right? So we just so happen we actually love Stadia. The technology is great. We love what they're bringing. We like how Stadia is doing things. We like the fact that they do have a roadmap laid out. They're shooting down all of the nonsense that's out there. They're going to bat for us, but whether we want to believe it or not, they're going to bat. They're paying attention to the streets, and we know that because we were on Twitter today shouting out everybody's channel in the Stadia community that never wavered. We'll get into some of that later, though. That's in the notes. So we're showing love. Stadia's out there doing exactly what I said they were going to do. Listen up, popping people's chat at different times, like mine. Shout out to Grace Yang for popping in the brothers' chat over there playing games with Megatron. In the past with Eddie and everybody else, Dominic and Jim Stadia. Jim, I want to keep saying Jim Stadia. Y'all know who he is at heart. Jim, playing games like that. I mean, so they're doing all these things. They're doing all these things that we said that they were going to do, man. They're coming to light. Now, you could say, damn, the Storm and MM2K, man, they get on here and just boast and brag, man. They turn me off, man. I can't do it. I can't listen to them. But all we do is say what eventually comes to light, man.
Exactly.
It eventually comes to light. And I can't be mad at myself or my brother because we just take the time and process stuff. And a lot of times, more times than none, we get it right. There's others like us out here, too. They have been highlighted on Twitter to the best of my ability. And for the other ones out there, the list is too damn long. I had to do more later, y'all. But I tried my best to highlight y'all and spotlight all the great creators from big to small in this community. But let's move on, man.
Yep, let's move on. We did spend a lot of time. It was just ridiculous, Storm. And again, I see a lot of ridiculous stuff, and I'm used to. We're trained. If you're a part of the Stadia community, because I've said, y'all seen, I don't interact with the YouTubers anymore. Like we had Lamer Nexus out there making new videos.
Hey man, shout out to Brian Chappelle. A hell of a video. I don't know if y'all seen it, but you need to check it out.
Definitely check it out.
MM2K and myself, right? I brought it to MM's attention first and all that. Then we mentioned it briefly last week or whatever. But man, he was looking kind of nervous, man. I can't even lie. If you, that's all I'm gonna say. And I
Mm-hmm.
almost felt bad because is this how all the people are feeling that, they're big on tech, tech is their life? I can understand.
Uh-huh.
Now, listen, I'm not even making fun of that. If tech is your life and that's what you got to do, and you're not into the cloud, you're not sold on it yet, and all of a sudden these major companies like Google, Amazon, and Xbox, Microsoft, or whatever, is going to have more people going to cloud versus hardware. But
Yeah,
you got to understand at some point you can't put all your eggs in one basket, man. At some point you
exactly.
have to realize that the evolution happens.
You gotta,
Whether
yeah,
we want to or not, it's going to happen. So
you gotta
that I just
evolve.
wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, let's
You gotta
go.
evolve. I mean, look at what happened. Look at what happened to Blockbuster. As much as we love Blockbuster, times change, generations change. The generation of that time didn't want to go and pick up a cassette or a CD or DVD or whatever. They wanted to get it in the mail. And so you got to evolve. And shout out to GFN. That's why they're doing their cloud portion right now, because if things start to tilt away from the hardware business, they want to be prime right there in the center for the cloud business. So y'all just gotta expand your portfolio. Y'all gotta diversify y'all bonds, Mitch, as they sit on Dave Chappelle's, that one Dave Chappelle skit with Wu Tang. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Got to diversify your bonds, Mitch. But that's what I'm saying. Like, stop trying to hope. That's why a lot of these tech YouTubers, they're false. They're farces. How can you be a tech YouTuber, but you want to keep the state of technology in the Stone Ages? It doesn't make sense. If new technology works and it moves things
sense.
forward,
What are you talking about? It's that money, man. It's about that money.
That's
now
why
you
they're
got to go.
that's why they're
Come on,
farce.
man.
That's why they're a farce. And again, if it rubs people the wrong way because they want all YouTubers to play nice, I'm not here for YouTubers. I'm here for you on the other end of this mic. Okay? So if you're spreading misinformation, like I said, and I do this because I wish when I wasn't in the know, when I was trying to figure this stuff out, I wish that there were people that were pushing to make sure that the truth came out for me. So,
Right.
That's how that goes. But with that said, yeah, I'm gonna drop a link to this Reset Era thread. Very interesting stuff. The people in the know speak truth to power. Definitely check it out. With that said, we're gonna move on, Storm.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's talk about it, brother. And thank you for the kind words, man. I was just so impressed with the keynote. Shout out to my brother. What the hell? Okay, no, my switchboard was acting a little crazy. Shout out to my brother, John Scar, the hardest working man in the Stadia streets. He did a hell of a show yesterday, but there were so many things part of that Stadia keynote that I had to rewind and go back over, that I had to just go back and watch it individually. But John did a hell of a show covering all that stuff, and check it out again. So I had to get notes ready because there was a lot of stuff that was blowing my mind. And let's talk about it. The Developer Summit, Storm. Let me see if I can put it up right here. I'm going to put up the page right here. And this is Google for Games Developer Summit. And on day 2, that's where we want to go to. Where's the cloud keynote, the Stadia keynote, less time porting and starting, where it really blew my mind and bringing new value to Stadia partners, which spawned a lot of this controversy. So, Stadia and the keynote, if you boiled it down to what were the thesis of these showcases, I would say they've increased their footprint. They put out some notes out there talking about the devices and stuff they were on. 180 plus games on Stadia right now. 100 million endpoints you could potentially play Stadia on. You know what I'm saying? B, making the platform more attractive for partners with things like the pro kickback and the profit sharing and other things. And C, making dev tools easier to bring games to the platform. So Storm, let's talk about this. I'm gonna let you do however you want to chop this up, brother. What do you want to tackle first? What are some of the things from this keynote that stuck out to you?
Yo, there was so much, man, in no particular order. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even just keep it to the actual keynote, because that was like up to a 15-minute slot, man. There was so much more after the actual keynote. But man, to keep it to keep it short, man, it's just to focus on like building just strengthening the partnerships or whatever that's already been formed, man, that hasn't been formed yet, and all of that stuff, right? Like the certification, man. I heard so many different things. Like we got reminded that at launch, Stadia, it required all games to run at 4K.
Woo!
HDR with surround sound, man. That blew my mind. Now, we might have talked about it, but we may not have had it hammered home that at launch, all games were going to be running. Remember, we had this big discussion in the community, man, what was really hitting native and all that good stuff, man. But here I learned yesterday, pretty much that all games were at launch were required, man, through the what is it called? The certification process or whatever.
Oh,
man.
What was it?
I want to say TSR, the Stadia
TSR, I think it was. No, STR
requirements. STR, yeah.
The Stadia technical requirements
or something like that, man. It was just so much to learn, y'all. You just had to. This is the stuff that I always try to encourage people to watch. You know, a lot of people probably checked out the keynote just to get the Stadia part, but there was so much in the other stuff, MM2K. But like I said, man, that like the major improvements to come to the developer tools, as you mentioned, man, like the fact that they're listening to, like they're trying to reduce the number of certifications per title. You know, they're trying to get that down to 1 from like 2.74 so that it's easier for developers to actually get and publishers to get their games on the platform, man. There's so much stuff that I have. I told you I have 5 pages of notes, but I didn't get a chance to really put them in any kind of cute order, man. But bro, there was so much, MM. That's all I'm gonna say right now. And as we talk, man, I'll just be throwing things out there because you know me.
I'm gonna pluck some of this stuff out, but I just want to point out something real quick. Hey, Kenry Venavale, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Hey, bro, you got the hip hop quotables. We say you got the bars of the day. Kenry says, let me see, how did I lose it that quick? How the hell did I lose it that quick? Kenry says, YouTubers hating on Google while Google paying them and giving them a platform on YouTube. Shake my head. Man. That's what I was going to create a video not too long ago, Storm and Kenry, that was going to focus directly on that. If y'all feel that Google is so greedy and the money that they produce is so bad for the gaming ecosystem, then stop taking ad revenue while talking about video games on Google. If you think Google should be out of gaming altogether, then stop making money off of them while talking about gaming. That right there shoots through the heart of the matter of all the bibble babble these YouTubers say about Stadia. Google's horrible. They're the evil company. I have a concern today. Meanwhile, after they write those stupid tweets, they go on YouTube, get ad revenue, get super chats off of Google while talking about games. Stop it. And then they'll go do a stream too, Storm. They'll do a stream. Stop it. That's what I'm saying. There's an agenda. It doesn't make sense, but then it does if you think about it. There's too many smart people in this business for this to just be a coincidence. Not everybody is involved, but there is a centrifuge of those with an agenda. So shout out to you, Kenry. I just wanted to point that out. Storm, how about we break it down in little chunks? Let's talk about the partner.
Because in no particular order, man, I told you there's so much I want to discuss, and I know we don't have time for all of it, but go ahead.
Yeah, for all of it. I'll just break it down like this. Partner enhancements. Over the past year, the back end has improved drastically, allowing for more freedom of approach and flexibility, which is what every publisher and developer needs. Lucas Dosage of IO Interactive actually said that. So you got he's the operations manager. So here are just some of the things that they've done to make him say that. 70% engagement kickback for Stadia Pro dev titles are coming. Converting non-pro to pro nets publishers $10 per using click to play. So what happens is if I'm Capcom, I use Resident Evil 8 because they said, oh, this is going to enforce games as a service as the model. No, let's use Resident Evil 8, which isn't a games as a service. So if I'm Capcom and I put Resident Evil 8 in Stadia Pro and I create a click to link thing, and let's just say I put it on Project Storm Stream, and a whole bunch of people, 3,000 people watch Project Storm Stream, and they click on that link, they go to Stadia Pro, and they say, oh, Resident Evil 8 is there, let me sign up for Stadia Pro. Capcom is going to get $10 for every person that does that. If 3,000 people do that, that's $30,000 in Capcom's pocket for people doing that. Then they're doing a new revenue split, 85-15 instead of the typical 70-30 that a lot of us have said for a long time Google will never back away from. Well, Stadia's doing it. And then the state share yield also has an 8 times increase in views opposed to video game excerpts that don't have state share.
They were sure to put that in bold, by the way.
Absolutely.
They actually put that in bold print for you to see and focus on.
Yep. So what out of that, Storm, was the most impressive to you?
Man, all of it. I mean, to be honest with you, all of it, because, and I say all of it because MM2K, it shows that they are, at one point, like you just brought up, people were thinking that Stadia wasn't doing anything for the developers and the publishers. That's why they were not bringing their games to the platform. In the meantime, more and more games kept coming to the platform, though. This is these are the things to pay attention to, right? So all of it, especially that whole do you know how many people that sat up in their chair yesterday when they heard that 85-15, and then until 2023 they sat up in their chair and said, wow. I'm sure there was some, and it definitely seemed like that was the case. Again, you got to think about all developers and all publishers who are trying to get their new game on a platform that could have reach. Stadia could have that reach, y'all, because of the number of devices that's out there. If you don't know that number, because the haters won't tell you, they won't reiterate that. They won't say how many times you've heard 80 plus mil from a hater. Tell me, I'll wait.
Let us know.
Overnight, almost man. More than the Series X and the PS5 combined. That's just to put it into perspective. That's the reach right there overnight. Insanity. That Stadia has, man. And they're still growing that thing. They're still growing that, man. So I asked you last week, and I asked Stadia Revolution if you two were publishers or developers and Stadia was up here talking about 85-15. At the time, we didn't really know they were going to break that down, though. But if Stadia's up here and they're putting all these devices in all these millions of homes, are you not going to want to put your game on that platform?
Exactly.
Like, so both you and Reb said, of course, yes. You said that you would. Yep. So it just makes even more sense now. And because people know that, the haters know this, MM2K, that's why you're going to see more of them. You saw the ridiculous comments we saw on social media and, a couple articles that was written. And I said to Rev, and we were in the DM talking at the time, and I said, Rev, man, I'm going to tell you something, bro. You know that after this event, the haters are going to come out saying it was a desperate attempt by Stadia. Stadia's, well, man, they must be desperate as hell now. Yeah. And sure enough, as I was saying it.
Did they do that?
As I was saying it, they did it. On cue, man. Absolutely. So this is, we have the haters in a bag. We know their move, man. They don't know our next move. They don't know Stadia's next moves, but we know their moves because they're consistent. Yeah. So so I just want to put it out there, man. And there was so much other stuff, and I could throw some of the stuff out there. I just don't know if we're gonna go into it, man. Yeah. But the YouTube creators focus. Did you have that on the docket at all, man? Outside of the keynote? The YouTube creators. All right, so that's why I said I'm gonna wait, man, because we're gonna talk about all of this stuff, and whatever we don't talk about, I'll just throw it out there, y'all, because it was crazy. It was hard to digest everything, so you have to go back and watch it. That's why they did it in video format, man. Thank you, YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google. But Storm, one of the, and I'm gonna bring up some slides too, just for some of the dominant slides I think of the showcase, which really I think spoke a lot to what they're doing and why the whole keynote was impressive. Let me do this. Let's go over this way. Let me show you something.
Let's do that. Because at times, remember, I just kept thinking, man. I said, yo, man, we've been telling the people that this is what's gonna happen, and I'd be damn. It seems like Stadia just knew that we were talking about it, man. It's just like, we got y'all. We used to joke around like that. I'm like, Stadia's probably like, we got you, Storm. We got you.
Absolutely.
And it surely seemed like that yesterday, man. Based on some of the things you're about to hear now.
Storm, it's so uncanny. It's like you said, and I know I'm just repeating what you said, but it's like they were listening. They said, oh, man, these guys with their old Milwaukee, they're just rambling off about a bunch of stuff. Let's make them seem right and say everything that they've been saying the last few months. So either that's what's going on, Google had pity on us because we do nothing but drink old Milwaukee and talk crazy stuff. They felt bad for us. Or Project Storm, Stormstradamus, and MM2K, following right in tow, followed the facts, left all the hyperbole, left all the conjecture out there, followed the facts, actually had sources that were giving them facts that we could share with you guys. Because like I said before, and you may hear this a lot of times, I come from the school of Next Gen 720. I ain't got to lie about video games. I ain't got to lie about them. It ain't that serious. So when we told y'all back in May, I believe that was. Let me go to my notes because I wrote this down.
Well, while you're doing checking what you wrote down, I said in a title, I titled the video MM2K, and see the thing is, y'all, I don't even have to run it by man when I bring up the SML titles and everything. That's me. Mm-hmm. That's all me, right? We don't sit there and conversate about what the title is going to look like. I said it's going to be a big Stadia summer.
Yes, sir.
I'll be damned.
Yes, sir.
Y'all thought it was over. I told y'all it's not over.
Yes, sir.
You haven't heard anything yet. I also told y'all, for all the Stadians that believe, I said this is going to last throughout December 31st. It's going to last throughout the fall and the winter. Mm-hmm. So it's also going to be a chilly fall and a cold winter, but that's going to be in a good way. You know what Absolutely. I'm saying? So get ready for it all, man. This is what you just have to know this because they said it. Stadia just said it. They said, I listen. They don't live up to expectations. I don't beat them down because it happens in the industry.
Yeah.
Several times we've been let down by other brands. Why the hell am I going to dog Stadia and drag them? Yeah. That's all it's about, y'all. It's not about fanboyism and all that at the end of the day. It's about having real grown-ass conversations and paying attention to the facts. Break it down, man. What you got?
But it's a lot of people though, Storm, and we got to remember this. But I can show you better than I can tell you wise words that were told to me one time. See, Storm, the difference between you and I and Clive, that's in the chat. And again, I'm not trying to make this a young man, naive young man, and an old man shaking his fist at the window thing. But there's a certain temperament that comes with us. See, we grew up when video games were on the rise. We saw them stumble. We saw Nintendo not do so. We saw Atari start off, kill it, not do so great, try to come back, and Nintendo go from being number one, then Sega whooped their ass, then they came back. We saw all that. So we know video games companies can stumble. But here's what happened over time. This generation that grew up with PlayStation, they're used to PlayStation just dominating, being on top of everything, having the partnerships and all other stuff. But PlayStation had to build up to that point. And see, y'all are not old enough to see those earlier battles. So y'all think it's just easy peasy for a gaming entity to just throw money on the table. Who cares about COVID? Just develop it and make it pop out in 3 days. That's what y'all think, but y'all don't understand. Y'all don't do y'all research. We done told y'all the literature. Blood, sweat, and pixels. We done told y'all the stuff that y'all should look at. So, of course, like Storm said,
when you're done, yeah.
I'm gonna say this and shut up, and I'm gonna shut up. Like Storm just said, why would we beat Stadia down over every little thing? Like how people, Orcs Must Die 3 patch. I ain't worried about that. I'm celebrating new games coming to the platform. We'll deal with that later. Now, if you're telling me Baldur's Gate Act 2 is coming to PlayStation 4 before it comes to Stadia, then yeah, we got a conversation. But I'm not worried about new spikes coming to Orcs Must Die 3 before it comes to Stadia with this news that we got on the screen. No. So I'm not going to beat Stadia down on every little thing and try to elevate every single critique or every little misstep like it's something big just to create a false sense of balance.
Let me say something.
That it's new.
No, go ahead. I can't wait. Go ahead, man.
It's new, and they're going to go through ups and downs. But again, as long as they're going in the right direction, that's the thing to focus on, in our opinion. Go ahead, Storm. I'm sorry.
Man, you're absolutely right. I didn't mean to interrupt, man. Sometimes we take the long breath, and I think you're done. Like, I'm done. And I'm like, that's why I got to tell you, don't you interrupt me, man. I ain't done.
Okay, I'm in my bag. Go ahead. Yeah.
You don't always new users, man. New listeners and all that. And I say users because somebody just signed up for Stadia today. If you're in that chat, let us know, man. Let us know. Like,
a day.
That's me. Hey, listen. So you don't always have to listen to MM2K. You don't have to listen to Project Storm all the time. We're telling y'all to go and listen to what Phil Harrison and Jack Buser and them and all of them have said to us, because that's how we're able to run these shows and bring y'all. Now, of course, we throw our own opinions and all thoughts and all that stuff, right? But I encourage you all, go and do that research that the haters don't want to do. You know, they're telling us that they're going to do these things. They're putting it out there for us, and it's coming to light. Jack Buser said, for example, that I talked about the scale and the scope pretty much. Like he definitely focused on the scale. He wanted us to think about the scale of what they had planned for 2021. Well, we're in 2021 right now, right?
Yep.
Good things started in January with Hitman, and it continued all the way up until right now, man, with Google Chromecast, with Google TV, Stadia being available on more devices, all of these partnerships that MM2K highlighted earlier, like Lenovo and all AT&T and others, right? But it goes far beyond that, man. He said something about scale. Now we're going to get into scale when it comes to the multiplayer side of things. I have that on my notes. I don't know if MM2, I don't know if you had that one, MM, about what they're able to do as far as like for the developers that we're talking about and the publishers, how Stadia is able to allow them to scale their multiplayer games up to meet demand, so that when Stadia is on fire.
No, I'm gonna let you tell.
And maybe that might be why we're not getting some of that lag. But see, I told you I got some stuff on the notes now. But MM, go ahead and do your thing, bro.
No, I just wanted. I'm gonna show this real quick. Because I highlighted a bunch of stuff. That's why I had to keep stopping and starting, stopping and starting. And shout out to John Scar. Rewatch his show, but I had to keep stopping and starting during the keynote because there was a lot of key slides in there.
It's a lot, man.
So affiliate marketing program was one slide, and I had to circle because I had everything in closed caption. This affiliate marketing program will launch in the first half of next year. But hold on, Storm. Stadia's dying in 6 months, right? Or Stadia is about to die in a couple of weeks, right? So that's where that right there, again, look, and again, this is not a shot across the bow to one person. This is just a reality check. The whole notion that Stadia themselves are looking to wind things down soon, that's dead. That's dead. Kill it. You want it just fizzles the credibility. Kill it.
If it doesn't make sense,
it doesn't make sense.
It's gonna potentially embarrass you. That's all. Now, that's how I see it, man.
I can see. Well, I don't know if their strategy is going to work. I can understand that, but that whole Stadia is winding things down. Kill it. It's dead. All right. This just shows that. And you know me, I gotta have the Chappelle meme there.
Man. I was hoping you wouldn't do it, man.
I had to put the Chappelle meme up there. But here goes another one, Storm. So you talked about this. They put in bold, state share generate 8 times more views than normal captures. 1 in 10 state share viewers convert into players. So if they know that, then why not go to Capcom and say, hey, look, we need more games like yours in Stadia Pro. We'll even give you money. That's what this is all about.
Oh, man.
Crazy stuff.
Does that not make sense?
I know. Also, hold on. Go ahead, Storm.
Man, hold on. So shout out to Doc Dark 198. We haven't heard too much of Doc when it comes to the Stadia stuff, man. I might have to go check his channel and make sure the brother's still on board with Stadia and all that. All right, I know he's back. I saw him drop a video recently. But listen, Doc has said he has made us think about the value of that $9.99 pro subscription every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday on my stream, you know, I said I disagreed with Doc on this one. Now, at first I was thinking, he had me scratching my head and everything. I was like, damn, does Doc have a point? And now I'm going to the extent of, for $10, man. After the news that we got yesterday, for $10, now that we know how everything is going to work, we get that 4K and everything. And one day, yes, I think 4K will go free for all users. Free, I think 4K will just be standard, even for free users, because then you'll have 4K 120 and ray tracing and other things like that, maybe. But then they might just say, forget all that. We're not trying to separate anybody. We want you to play these games the best way possible. They might come up with another tier or something, right? Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? That could be in the works. But when it comes to the value of Stadia Pro, and when you look at this 85 right here, that green circle, how beautiful it is, almost full. You know what I mean? Damn near full, man. It's a big number. That's a big number for a new developer, a new publisher to jump onto the Stadia platform that they've heard about by now. Maybe it was too difficult. MM2K, we learned that it was hard for some developers. It could have been really hard. And we talked about this too. And I said it right here on the panel with you. I said, man, maybe it is kind of tricky for certain developers to bring their games in a timely fashion. That could be realistic because
you did.
The big AAA publishers are gonna have more resources. They're gonna have more experience. They're gonna have some of the best in the industry that's been doing this for years and decades, right? So I could see that making sense. Sure enough, we found that out, but they're working on ways to even minimize that and make it better. So Stadia seems like they've taken a couple years, like my brother have said. We're gonna take some time. We're gonna go look at the data. We're gonna look at that data. Oh man, we're gonna look at the data, state share. We're gonna look at that data, y'all. Man, now we know what to offer our partners. Now we know how to better pitch. MM2K, do you understand, man? Do I need to really go into this whole thing, man, or not? Let me know, man.
Some people now we know how to hear.
We can use that data to better pitch to our partners or potential partners, man. I'm not a business dude. I'm not an entrepreneur or anything like that, but I just have common sense, man.
Yeah.
Stadia is a platform again. I had to say it, and I know you all are like Storm. You don't have to say it no more, man. But I gotta say, there's 80+ million devices in people's homes right now. Gmail is all you need. You already have Stadia. Stadia Pro is always dropping games for people. My library is so damn vast right now that I don't even know what to play on Stadia. And I was afraid that might happen. I was dreading that day that I ran into this problem of the back catalog, man. And we're here in 2021, not 2023. I'm having that issue right now with all the games. And guess what Stadia Pro does? It introduced me to games like Steam World Heist and Steam, all those games, right? That whole series. It introduced me to other games that I never would have touched, like Dark Side Detective. I wouldn't, Project Storm, the Project Storm, y'all know. If you don't know me, I'm 4K and I'm playing games in 8K right now. And I'm about to upgrade to another 8K TV shortly because 8K is the real deal for the future. Right?
Can't go back.
So I have to do this stuff, man. I really do. That's what I do. That's my hobby. I love it. Nobody can stop me from doing it, right? I don't think anybody will want to either. So I'm playing all these games in MM2K and I'm looking at all this value and I'm looking at some of these bangers that always go on sale, man. I'm sure there's a sale right now as we're speaking. We just had the mega sale. We have the damn Because Stadia is Awesome sale. We have so many sales, I can't keep up with them, man. I would like for somebody to take the data on that. How many sales since launch has Stadia given? Have they offered to the consumers, man?
Exactly.
Like now we're talking about offering something to the devs and publishers, man, to get on board, to show the appreciation for their hard work, to not rip them off, because clearly MM2K, man, go ahead and tell the people what this circle and all that. What does it mean to you? Because I know they're tired of hearing me, but go ahead, man.
Well, no, I mean, again, Stadia and other cloud platforms are in the building phase. And the reason why I wanted to put this slide up there is to kill two narratives. Narrative number one is that Stadia run out of funding. Like Alphabet didn't want to fund them anymore. And I remember that was a rumor, Storm. I'm gonna reveal a little bit. That was a rumor that was circulating in the Xbox circles back in late 2020. And someone in one of my Xbox friends brought it to me. And I kicked the tires on it and found out that it didn't have any relevancy to it whatsoever. And then we found out, Storm, right? Not too long after that Alphabet was looking to do the opposite, double down on Stadia. They saw what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. We saw via the reports 500. Stadia had its highest engagement, 5,000 in downloads alone off the app. By then, you didn't need the store. I mean, the store was available on PC in December as well, the Ubisoft Plus game. So that's just off the app. People were signing up on Stadia starting in December of 2020 and didn't even necessarily need the phone app for really anything. So depending upon how they played. So with that being said, we then found out not too long after that, Storm, that Alphabet was going to do the opposite. We spoke about that. We told y'all that they were doubling down with the developers and doing other things. We told y'all that several months ago, and this is a representation of that. They are now willing to give more of the split to the developers. That's a funding initiative. That's to say, hey, look, instead of it's just trying to collect money, we're still in the building phase. This is kind of R&D/building, because all of the cloud platforms are doing this. Let's give these companies more incentive. Let's get us in a better place for 2023 when we're really going to burst out the seams. Let's get ourselves in a better place so developers, you know what I'm saying, get used to the platform, get used to developing on the platform, and get cozy with Stadia Pro. That's the first thing it shows, Storm. The second thing that it shows is it kills the narrative again that Stadia is wrapping up in 3 minutes, okay? And it says it will run through at least 2023. Now, the reason why I wanted to highlight that, Storm, is because your boy MM2K has been telling everybody 2023 is a big year, not only for Google, but for Amazon, and particularly for Xbox, because that's when all of Xbox's games are going to be coming out of the oven. That's when they really think that their technology will be up to par. That's what I believe Amazon Luna will be up to par. And that's what Google looks like apparently is going to burst out of the seams, where they're going to feel like, we ain't got to do initiatives like this. We're going to have so much to offer in 2023 that we ain't got to do this, right? So there's a reason why I kept bringing that up. It's to what my brother Clive said in the chat. Just follow the breadcrumbs. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Yo, man, why are these breadcrumbs here? And you kick them to the side. Follow the breadcrumbs. That's all you got to do. So I wanted to throw that out there. And last but simply not least, this is the one I really want to have fun with, Storm. It says, we're investing in Stadia Pro, including bringing it to more users through partnerships. OnePlus, Lenovo, AT&T, and Asus. And then the caption reads, we're investing in third-party partnerships with folks like OnePlus, Lenovo, and AT&T. So, Storm, what do you think about the dynamic of this? Because remember when the letter that came out during SG&E, which could have been better, honestly, but then in subsequent communications when Stadia was like, look, we're looking to spread the goodness of Stadia through our third-party partnerships. And people took that as they're closing down Stadia and they're going fully white label. What are your thoughts now that we have the revelations of what that meant in large part? I mean, they're still going to work with other game entities to help them build their own platforms. But now that we see a big bulk of the third-party partnerships, it's just through simple stuff like this. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hold on. Let me wipe the tears out of my eyes,
when reality hits, brother.
I'm talking about these haters, man. These mugs is out here.
Woo!
Yo, y'all gotta stop giving us reason to laugh behind the scenes, man. Man, on air. Like, I can't even contain it no more, man. I'm up here crying. I can't understand why they can't see what the hell we see, man. I'm tired of it, bro. What's today's date? July 14th, 2021.
July 14th,
I'm tired of this. This is nonsense, man. Haters, please stop. Y'all, you're killing yourselves, man. Yeah, some of y'all done talk so bad about Stadia that you can't even come back when Stadia starts popping off. It might be good for your channel. It might be good for your brand. But y'all done talk so much dirt on Stadia that you can't even bring your ass back.
Damn. Wow.
That's word on everything, man. Shout out to NYC, man. I got love for NYC. Shout out for Chariot, man, and all them boys in
Chariot,
NYC. Man. Hey, we talk. Hey, our community, right? Our community kept talking about things like, yo, you know, to be awesome, man. Mm-hmm. This is me sounding like Bill and Ted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, dude, you know, to be awesome, M2K.
What's that, dude?
If you know how they had the Best Buy, the controller at Best Buy, dude.
Oh, yes, man.
Hey, for some reason, guys, if they can only just get a store. All right, now I'm gonna leave that alone, y'all, because you know I know some people are like, man, you don't shut your ass. So listen, if they can only get a retail store. Probably somewhere like in New York, one of the biggest cities on the damn planet.
Oh man, that'd be
if
great.
They don't get a retail store, and you can't forget about moves like this. See, we get all fancy. We hear about the Dev Summit and all that stuff, and we forget about the NYC store. Don't you do that, man? Don't you forget about that store, bro?
Absolutely, can't do it.
Bet you people. So I sent my homie Chariot, man, gaming right here in the chat. I sent him on the challenge, man.
Yes,
Chariot,
sir.
Can you be at that store within 24 hours of launch, man? Cherry said, I got you, Project. I said, yeah, right. Yeah, I got you. Cherry, man, the Rona's still out there and everything, right, man? I don't really want you to go out there. Don't you know Cherry was out there masked up, sitting in, had his hands on the devices and everything, taking some beautiful screenshots of the Google store in NYC, New York City, y'all. That's the kind of stuff right there that we told people that Stadia was going to be doing, man. It feels so good that we can sit here and just remind people of this stuff, man. The haters don't like it. They really don't. They just don't. They hate us. You know what I'm saying? Because we tell the truth. Like, we put the stuff out there. We're positive. We're optimistic about the future of the platform. But MM2K, that right there that you have on the screen, OnePlus, I shouted them out, man. OnePlus UK in the building was good. Lenovo, laptops, y'all know they got millions of devices, and AT&T, man, we already covered the hundreds of however many million customers they have. And if 2% of those customers actually say, let me try this Stadia thing, and then they tell another 3% of those customers or their friends or whatever, then Stadia is looking at probably even better numbers by 2023. Now, you went into why 2023 was so important, but bro, you kept telling people so much, man. Data collection phase, man. It's the data collection phase, y'all. You got to understand. People like me and Red was like, man, if you don't shut the hell up with that data collection phase, you know that they're taking that. We know they're taking data, man. We know, MM2K. I don't think y'all understand, Storm. The data collection, this is data collection, and my brother said it so many times that it couldn't help but sink in. So finally, it sunk in. And now we're up here talking about 2023, right on cue, right on the timeline, is when that whole split is going to just get normalized. All it's going to do is get normalized. It's not going to end. We got it, man. MM. It's just a beautiful thing, bro. So y'all think those partners right there is the end of this? There's more that's not even on the list right now. There's more that's coming already. Phil Harrison is at the table or on the phone or in a Zoom or a Google Meet or something, right? And Phil's talking right now to somebody right now as we speak, saying, yo, we have a better pitch for you guys. Now that we have so many devices in people's home with more on the way, including the LG TV deals that we told you about, we may have Samsung on board. You know what I mean? Who knows? But we also got this and that and this right here. That's what Phil Harrison is doing. I'm sure he's not just getting a check for nothing. I don't need to see Phil every day. That's the other Phil.
Yeah, I don't need that.
It's a whole ecosystem, man.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't even like that. Yep, I'm with you.
We don't need to see Phil Harrison every day, man. As much as cool as that would be, because when he got on the stage for Immortals Phoenix Rising, boy, he damn sure left a good impression, a good taste in all Stadium's mouth, man. I understand why some people want to see him, but man, I don't need to see Phil. Phil, keep on working behind the scenes, bro, and we're gonna keep on having good reasons to talk about stuff like this. But that's it.
Yep. So, I mean, now that we think about this, Storm, and before we touch on the dev portions of this, now that we think about this, Storm, and I put a poll out there. I'm asking everybody if y'all can participate in the poll. Do y'all think that the Stadia keynote was positive towards Stadia's future? Do you think that it was like a positive outlook and it made things look good for Stadia's future? Answer that poll for us. Let us know. Whatever answer you pick, you can't be wrong for how you feel. With that being said, Storm, at least for the partners section of it, how big was this to you? Do you think that they really got some things that'll be good for the platform? Is it not enough? Is it horrible? What are your thoughts overall?
Bro, I got to take it over to the surge in popularity of mobile gaming, because I know you didn't have this on the docket, man. Now, if you had this one, I'm done. But I got to go back to the surge just in like handheld devices and mobile gaming and stuff like that. MM2K, when you're talking about partnerships, you're talking about devs who already developed their games for these platforms, for this platform or whatever, like mobile. You saw 8-Bit Thug. Did you have that on the docket?
Yeah, no, I didn't have that on the docket, but we can talk about that too.
And Christine, I subbed to both of their channels after hearing what they had to say.
Wow.
Not because it was they didn't even really talk about Stadia at all. They didn't, but yeah. But I subbed to them anyway because of the fact that they broke some things down in a way that to me, I thought Stadia the whole time they were speaking. Stadia and YouTube. So we're talking about partnerships right here, right? MM2K, man. Mobile gaming, huge. Stadia is going to be played on so many phones that we can't even keep up with them, man. Do you understand what I'm saying to you right now? So all these people that's in the mobile gaming, well, they should be able to see some value in Stadia, because now 5G, shout out, real story. I just signed up for 5G. I'm getting a new phone probably tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. The Samsung Galaxy S21 that will be coming tomorrow. 5G. Didn't even know it was in my area right now. You know what I mean? So I'll be playing more Stadia on my phone now because of this, man. So do you understand how many people might feel the same way, bro? Eventually, if they don't feel that way right now, it's okay. It's okay, man. Stadia is something that's new. We had to get over the shock and awe that happened with the collective with the agency. I'll call them the secret agency. We got to get over that, right? But man, the potential is huge, is what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to these partnerships, man, that's what's going to be the driving point, the selling point to them is going to be the reach. They covered the reach, MM2K. I've been talking about it forever. They covered the reach, man. They hammered it home. They talked about how Stadia, you could use Stadia as a link. We'll pay you for that too, by the way. We'll give you $10 for that. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Damn. Because we've been telling people, see, Stadia is like, we've been telling people this, but they don't want to hear it from us. They don't really trust us. Like people don't trust MM2K. You know what I'm saying? We trust you, Storm, but that MM2K, man, he sounds like a swindler. Yeah. He sounds like a swindler to me, you know, so I don't trust that dude, you know? It's all right. It's okay. So Stadia said, nah, we're going to turn it over and put it in your hands. So you could come up with your own savvy advertisement and drop that on YouTube. You know what I mean? With your link, you get your users to click on that. You get this much money that you didn't have. Now we know everybody in this chat is not turning down free money. If you got your STEMI, raise your hand. If you said, I'm sending this STEMI back, I don't want it, raise your hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep your hand up if you said, I'm going to send this STEMI back. Everybody put their hand down, man.
Exactly.
That's how it goes. So it goes. So in no way, shape, or form can you turn this into a bad thing, man.
Yeah.
You just can't do it, MM2K. That's how I feel about the partnerships.
People will try.
It's crazy.
People will try, Storm, but yeah, you can't fathomably turn it into a bad thing. And I was expecting to see the articles, like kind of what my brother Thrash. And shout out to Thrash. I rocks with Thrash, and I really like Thrash because Thrash tries to at least think outside of the box when it comes to this stuff. The thing with Thrash is that he thinks so much out of the box that he really puts a spotlight on something that we weren't even engaged in and really brings things to light. Or he really misses. You know what I'm saying? But he's willing to take those risks, which I really appreciate about my brother. And when me and him was engaging, and it was a fun, funny back and forth. We was just having a lot of fun. A lot of the stuff that he was saying, they're desperate or whatever, I was waiting for the media to get into, but not this stuff today. It's just insanity. It's pure insanity.
So yeah, hey, so shout out to Thrash, first of all, man. But MM, I want to say something going back to these YouTubers that I forgot to say, y'all.
Yep.
8-Bit Thug, y'all, on his way to 1 million subs. A million subscribers. Remember, we had that conversation too, bro. I told you if we would have to go overtime if I got into what I really want to talk about when it comes to these shows, man, and what I found out, right?
Yep.
Hey, we kept asking, why don't they take advantage of the big YouTubers and stuff like that and start working on that and finding out ways to let them help promote? Well, it appears that might be in the works based on 8-Bit Thug having almost 1 million subscribers, 900 and something K easily on his way to 1 million. And Christine having over 600 and on her way to 670K subs on YouTube alone. Who knows what they have on like Twitter and other places, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Twitch and all that good stuff. Followers, all that. It's crazy. Everything is just coming to light, MM. I'm just gonna leave it alone, man. I can't do it no more. Can't do it.
And we got how many people we got? We got about 19 votes. Go ahead and vote on that poll. Let us know what your thoughts on the Stadia keynote. We'll end it in a little bit. We'll end the poll in a little bit. But yeah, the thing is that they've talked about Storm as we get to the dev side. 100 million. We talked about this when we brought back up the Richard Ledbetter interview. Hey, look, if y'all don't want to get the nutrients in the riboflavin, that's all right, because we at Storm got the nutrients in the riboflavin. We told y'all in advance. We gave y'all the Stadia Keynote before you got the Stadia Keynote. Storm, did we not talk about the 100 million? Or I'm sorry, 100 billion hours of gaming content on YouTube. Did we not talk about the 10 billion hours of live stream content watch. And isn't it just ironic that after the Stadia keynote, that's what was brought up, and we talked to y'all about how it's integral to Stadia's long-term goal, that they're going to leverage their streaming platform and say, look, I want to play with 8-Bit Thug. Well, 8-Bit Thug is playing, he's playing Dark Side Detective, or he's playing, I don't know, Storm, give me a game. He's playing PUBG.
Yeah.
8-Bit Thug is playing PUBG. Hey, yo, Project Storm, you want to play with me, bro? Thank you for stepping to me. Yeah, I can play with 8-Bit Thug. Yo, look. You sign up to Stadia? No, I ain't got Stadia. How do I get that? How much is it gonna cost you?
Oh my gosh.
Free 99, bro. I'm gonna send you this link. Go ahead and sign up for Stadia Pro. You can hop on PUBG. And then we gonna play together.
It? That's my reaction. What? That's all I have to do?
Yes. And you're on that, even if you got a PlayStation 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it don't matter. You want to play with 8-Bit Thug. So you're going to sign up for Stadia, get games on Stadia, the games that 8-Bit Thug are playing, and if the people that participate in the 100 billion hours, the 10 billion hours of streaming, if they're doing that because they can interact with their favorite content creator, that is a new paywall that is going to bolster up YouTube or bolster up Google and Stadia and YouTube, along with bolstering up, we got to be, honest about this, Luna and Amazon and Twitch. So that's why I say them two entities, they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no more Mixer.
Wow.
Ain't no more. Microsoft ain't got no dongle that's in 80 million homes or 50 million homes. They ain't got that. Microsoft's technology ain't up to par yet. Just go to that Reset Era stream. Follow the breadcrumbs. Now, again, I'm not saying who's going to be the ultimate victor, if there is a victor here. I'm not going to say, but I'm just saying.
No, they're going to win if they do it right.
Exactly. Google, Amazon, they have their safety nets. They're going to be all right. Not only that, but the market dictates that Google can't hop out of this. If Google were to leave gaming this early, foolishly, they will get slaughtered on the market because their competitors are going to be in it and they're going to be building and they're not going to be able to recoup financially the way that their competitors can. So just market-wise, that's suicide. Do y'all understand now?
Who understands? And that's Eric Davis. Eric Davis is in the building.
Shout out to Eric Davis.
If y'all didn't know, man. Let me tell y'all what Eric Davis said. Says it makes more sense now. I mean, why they closed their studios now. He said it makes more sense why they closed their studios now. But see, Eric, people are figuring this out every day, man. Like Facts. Me, MM2K, and so many people around right now, around you in this chat and everywhere else. They're starting to figure this out. They're seeing the push. They're seeing the initiative. They told, man, somebody somewhere from Stadia let us know that there was going to be a refocusing or a reshifting. They might not have worded it like that.
Yes.
But you could easily catch it in the letter, that message that Phil put out there. I know you had your thoughts on it. We talked about all that, but I saw a different message than you, just like 6'4" saw something different than you on that Connect, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But this is why we had to have these discussions, man. And Eric is absolutely right. It's crazy. It makes more sense. Think about it. You freed up so much money, right? You freed up so much money, y'all. So much CapEx, building new facilities and all that stuff for you studios to really thoroughly operate and all that stuff, right? They built a big thing. They could turn it into something else. They've used it for, other reasons already, right? So, yeah, we wanted to see Playa Vista come to light and have amazing games taking place out there and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But what they did was they refocused. They saved so much money, MM2K, that they could have been throwing on titles that we would have seen in 2026. They said, nah, let's worry about the immediate right now. Let's go out there and put this money on these partners out here. Get these partners on board so they could really see what the hell, all the greatness that we had planned. Because it doesn't make sense for us to sit on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that for a minute, y'all. We could worry about exclusives that we're seeing everywhere in the world on every platform. It's taking at least 2, 3, 4 years to make a quality game, right? Come on, man. Did we have that much time? Really? Did we have that much time, or did we want to get all as many games as we could play on all these users' homes or wherever they're going to be playing them? Come on, y'all. With the click of a link,
Yep.
like I just all day long. I do not regret at all the closure of SG&E. I just don't. That's just me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I told y'all. I gave y'all my logic, man. That's why.
Yep. I want to address something that's in the chat. Great back and, well, I don't want to say back and forth, but great discussion. But before I get into that, shout out to the brother Rising Thunder with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate it. Says, look, all that happened yesterday is great, but what the hell is with NBA 2K22 not having Stadia there? This is an issue that me as a consumer has with Stadia. I shouldn't see the damn Switch there and not Stadia. All right, Rising Thunder. So we're going to address this again because you may have missed what I particularly said earlier, what my brother Storm said earlier. Cloud platforms are a 2% business. Strauss Zelnick, the head of 2K Games, came out there and said, hey, look, this is a test revenue stream for us. It's not our big kit and caboodle. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe last time for NBA 2K21, maybe they did announce it at launch, and maybe this time they said, you know what, we're not going to do it. You know what I mean? But if what we've learned, what we should learn instead of playing 51st dates and I mean that kindly, or Groundhog's Day, is that cloud platforms necessarily don't get announced at launch. And what you're doing to yourself, my good brother, is if you got to see a Stadia logo there at launch, you're torturing yourself. At launch, developers and publishers want to hit home to the cash cows. Cloud gaming is not a cash cow right now. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, as you referenced, are the cash cows. So you're not going to see these cloud logos sitting on the stage with them. They take up too much, whatever the case may be. We've seen this time after time. So my good friend Rising Thunder, my suggestion to you is you're going to have a different approach when it comes to Stadia than you do when it comes to premier platforms. If the game don't come to surface 4 to 6 weeks out of launch, then yeah, you got something to deal with. But these cloud platforms that are a 2% business, just rock out with us, Rising Thunder. Rock out with us. We'll get you the data. A 2% business. And what Strauss Zelnick said last year, he's not going to bend over backwards because you want to see a logo or I want to see a logo. It's all about appealing to the cash cow. Maybe he did it last year. He ain't going to do it this year. And that's how a lot of these publishers feel, particularly coming out of COVID. So I think if we're going to support any of these cloud platforms, we got to get out of the stratosphere of expecting to see a logo at launch. When we get 4 to 6 weeks out from launch, we don't hear any words. And if that game is that important to you, then you got a decision to make. But on launch at reveal day, you're going to still be hurting, bruh. And that's self-torture. You waterboarding yourself. To keep it jiggy with you, you waterboarding yourself. And don't even do it. It's a 2% business. You're a founder. You're in it while the groundwork is starting. You're not going to have all the amenities that the premier platforms have. It's coming, but it's just not right now. Storm, did you have any follow-up thoughts to that?
Man, I do. I have a couple. So we've seen it again and again, time after time. You know, we've definitely seen it where Cyberpunk, boom, Resident Evil, boom, man. I mean, so many games, Madden, so many that people just, for some reason, just didn't think that they were going to come. Now, see, I think a lot of people might be getting mixed up in the hater sauce. You know, the hater sauce is like, if this doesn't come, that's going to be bad, boys. We got one for the ages if it doesn't drop on Stadia. Mm-hmm. But see, that's the hater sauce right there, man. We can't get mixed up in that, you know. The game is big. It's one of the biggest sports games on the planet. Mm-hmm. It would definitely look good for Stadia. However, we've seen that Stadia likes to make their major announcements. Sometimes they like to pass it over to the actual devs and publishers. They might have an event planned before the game launches that they might drop it at. We just never know. So I stopped caring about that stuff now. That's just me. MM2K gave his thoughts. Rising Thunder definitely gave your thoughts on the whole thing. And this is just how we see it. We all can agree to disagree. It is what it is. It's not going to really, at the end of the day, like MM said, you got a decision to make. Me, I was a 2K fan, but I stopped becoming a 2K fan because they didn't offer me the quality that I wanted. So it doesn't bother me at all. And I might not, and a lot of people don't even play 2K. So overall, how does it look for the Stadia platform? Well, it's going to look the same, or it's not going to be a problem at all if they don't even play that game. But if the majority of your users, or enough of them to make an impact, doesn't even care about the game and never even played it, I don't know, man. I had so many thoughts surrounding it, but it's definitely an interesting topic, though. Now,
absolutely,
I did cover the fact that if it's not on the platform, it's not going to look good to the people that want to play 2K. But I mean, most gamers have other platforms already. Stadia, you're just finding out about it. You already have a PS4, probably, more than likely, a Nintendo Switch. You might already have an Xbox. That's just one game that you're just going to be able to play it somewhere else. You don't have to play every game on Stadia. Believe me, certain games, like those that don't run at 60 FPS right now, I play them elsewhere. So, I mean, I think, hey, again, it's a good discussion, man. I see where everybody's coming from.
No, I get where he's coming from, and it's a great question. I just think that we gotta get ourselves calibrated to how things work for in the cloud gaming stratosphere. Like, you could have a scenario. Look, anything's possible. You could have a scenario. Strauss Zelnick and company said, "Look, man, we found out through the keynote, man. Look, it's too hard to develop, and we're running into some rough times. Like, we can't guarantee this at launch for y'all. We'll make an announcement later." Or, and then what Stadia is doing is say, look, oh man, well, we want to get this at launch, so we got to improve these tool sets. We got too many people telling us this. We got to improve these tool sets to where it might come a week or two or, whatever later. And we'll deal, and Stadia got to deal with those chips as they may fall. Again, you're in the early stages of this. We're not 100% sure. But even having that conversation, I don't feel like to even have that. It's too early. We've seen more likely than not. We've seen evidence to the contrary, Thunder, that there was a job posting talking about the Stadia port and all this other. Like, I think it's too early. I think we need to have this conversation 4 to 6 weeks out from launch. I don't want us to keep playing 51st dates Groundhog's Day. So that's my suggestion to you, good brother. But thank you again for the super chat and the support. All right, Storm, let's do this real quick. Let's go over the dev part of this, because I know we touched on it a little bit, and then let's close out with Madden and FIFA. And before we get into what I feel is going to be our fiery after show, this is probably going to be our best after show yet. And for the after show, you can partake in this if you are a member of the Stadia Dosage News platform. If you're a member of this platform, if you're not, hit that join button and make sure you're at least a prescription member. If you're at least a prescription member, which is the middle tier, you'll automatically be taken to the after show. We got a hell of an after show. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to give y'all a little driblet of it right now. I'm going to be honest. I was talking to my brother Storm. After Stadia's keynote yesterday, I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm really looking at Stadia, Amazon Luna, and I'm like, they going to be okay. You want to know who I'm worried about? I ain't worried about GFN. We don't know what's going on with Shadow, but I'm worried about Xbox. I'm worried about Xbox because the technology is behind. You know what I'm saying? And if the technology is too behind, people are not going to want to convert over. It's going to cause issues for them. And I got concerns because of the approach that they've taken as far as using the console as server blades. We're going to get into all that. But I got a suggestion for Microsoft. See, it ain't all hate here with MM2K. I got a suggestion for Microsoft that I think will really flip everything on its head and really change the dynamic instantaneously if they were to do this. If you want to hear what that is, come to the after party, become a member. All right, but Storm, let's talk about this. The dev tools, which are essential to what my brother Rising Thunder talked about. It could be, part of the equation of what 2K22 is going on. We don't know. It's too early. But anyway, for devs, they're simplifying the development tools, their test hubs, the coupling, separation of development processes, and engine improvements. They talked about that a lot. They're making development easier to engage all across all screens. Direct launches from the dev tool. So if I'm developing a game and I want to see how it works on Chromecast, on the CCU or the Google TV, I can now launch it from the SDK, I believe. And it'll take me there, and you can't do that right now, and that's going to be key because a lot of people have said that that's a problem for them in the development process. The Stadia technical requirements are being revamped for smoother certification, like we talked about earlier. Before, 4K HDR surround sound was part of the STR, the technical requirement that was removed to simplify requirements similar to console. I think that's why we started seeing things, Storm, like maybe Serious Sam not being 60 frames per second. Maybe Far Cry 5. You know what I'm saying? I think they had to ease it up because it was getting too difficult for people. So now things are starting to make a little bit more sense. Eternal Review Board to help slow down STR bog down. My thing is, we heard our good friend Richard Review Tech say, there's a skeleton crew over at Stadia. How the hell do you have a review board and do all this stuff with a skeleton crew? Rich, you're gonna have to be better after now. You're gonna have to start being better, Rich. I'm sorry. Platform agnostic APIs, the Stadia porting toolkit. You don't have to develop versus new APIs. You can keep considerable amount of Windows APIs within your game. And then it's now the Stadia SDK within the first year, 10 times faster when debugging, stepping, 3 times faster when deploying binaries, 10 to 100 times faster for binary downloads from instance. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Storm, what do you think about the whole development thing?
Well, what I think about all of that really in a nutshell is, man, it seems like maybe 2 to 3 times the number of games on an annual basis by the year 2025. Seems like we might be around 1,000 games if these developers catch on to this right here. And I don't see why they wouldn't, because again, we already had a good number of developers on board with Stadia, right? At a time when people were saying that nobody wanted to put their games on Stadia, man. You know what I mean? You look a little bit later, 100 and something plus, 180 plus games, and more to come on the way. You know what I mean? Only about just over halfway for the 2021 target. So we know we can expect at least dozens more games. You know what I mean? 40 to 50 more games or so, if my math is correct or whatever, right? So that's at the least. Now, you're saying a lot of things, man, but I want to hit the brakes real quick. Back up a little bit. Go back to 2K. Right. We're going into Madden and FIFA next. We're going to run that by y'all real quick. Yep. But before we do that, man, we're talking 2K. Now, see, Rising Thunder got me thinking. Well, we saw games like Doom Eternal get that next-gen love. We know that FIFA is about to get this next-gen love. Now, see, we be so quick to look for that logo, but what if the game's just not ready yet because it's about to get that next-gen love, and they might not be sure that it's going to be ready because, see, you know that the console Series X and all that and the PS5 had that next-gen 2K21. Now, see, nobody's thinking about this right here, so I have to do it. And if you were thinking about that, don't let me take credit for your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? What if that's the case, man? So that's why another reason why I don't get so caught up into that, man. But all right, so we're talking all these tools and everything, the improvements. I had to throw that out there.
Facts.
Because if y'all haven't seen Doom Eternal, if you haven't seen what Update 6 does to Doom Eternal, you might want to go check that out. So, all this means is that Stadia is just going to be at a better place than it is. Much better place right now with developers and publishers and stuff, man. Like, it seems like they're listening. They told us that they listened to developers about the porting process, the whole everything, man. They broke down everything they could possibly break down for a developer. They told them, they gave them the incentives to bring their games and everything. It's just beautiful, bro. It's beautiful all the way around, and I anticipate seeing more growth, like a more vast catalog of games in the next few years, man. Because as a result of this, that's the least we should see, man. You know.
Shout out to Bulls for Life. Shout out to Randy B. We're going to see y'all over there in that chat. And I'll drop a link to it too, man. This is going to be a hell of a discussion. So we're going to wrap it up real quick and talk about Madden and FIFA. Storm, unless you had anything else about the keynote to bring up.
That is there was let me see, let me make sure because I know there
Hmm.
was some other good stuff, man.
A lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah, I covered the reach. Nearly anyone could play with the on millions of devices. They talked about the reach, the access, the convenience, and all that
Yep.
stuff. They definitely pitched all the features, all of Stadia's exclusive features. They pitched that to the devs and the publishers. And if you were paying attention, you would have learned a lot about Stadia and why we get so hype about it. You
Yep.
know, so there was so much, man. The value of Stadia Pro, it was made very clear in MM2K. The users
Yep.
simply get to play like he said, Alan, I think it was Alan Joyce maybe. Users get to play dozens of games with one monthly subscription, while you, as a developer, he means, get a low friction way to introduce your game to new players. Now, I kept asking over and over, I still think it flies over some people's head. If I'm a dev or a publisher, whether I like Stadia or not, why the hell am I not putting my game on that platform?
Hmm.
It just doesn't make sense. So now that's why I know for a fact we're going to start to hear announcements about more games in early 2022, man.
Yep.
Let's go, though.
Absolutely. So, and before we close out and go to Madden real quick and FIFA, or really FIFA and Madden, because Madden is more rumor than anything, but I think it's an interesting discussion. I want to remind people of this. Again, like we said, I know we've talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of things people may have cringed at. Oh man, calling out the media like that, man. I just think that there's just a misunderstanding. I'm telling you that I see things behind the scenes. And when I tell y'all that I see things behind the scenes and XYZ is happening, what happens? It comes to fruition. I told y'all, I think I may have told y'all earlier this year that we're seeing around on average. No, this is what I told y'all last year. I told y'all last year, remember when it was a big deal storm when everybody was like, oh, I see about a whole bunch of people leaving Stadia. They're leaving Stadia, right? And I told y'all that if 500 people decided to leave Stadia one particular day, Stadia is going to get 3 times that amount. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. So it's going to be a net 1,000. Why did I say that? Because I had information and data that showed, and we talked about this in the numbers, the numbers show for Stadia. This was it last Sunday. This last episode we told y'all in the same episode that me and Jack talked about Jack really gave the Linux education. Check that out. That after extrapolating the data, Stadia is picking up on average during its low periods. This is during its low periods. On average, Stadia is picking up 1,500 people a day. Or there's 15. Well, I'll put it like this: there's 1,500 engagements at least a day. Okay, so that's why I was saying that if 500 people said I'm leaving Stadia, all on that Stadia Reddit, Stadia is going to pick up 3 times that amount. So we told you that. So we ain't got to lie about video games. There are things that behind the scenes that we see, and I'm telling you, I am seeing stuff behind the scenes. I've had conversations with YouTubers, people connected to journalists. I've had conversations with them. I've seen just because you're a journalist doesn't mean that you're not a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? There's weirdos everywhere. There's weirdos doing what we do, and there's weirdos on the other end. And there's weirdos everywhere. We've dealt
with 2 of them, but that's cool.
Exactly. They may include us in there, but there's weirdos. We've dealt with one particular journalist weirdo at Broadband Bullies that is real famous. I ain't going to say his name. That used to send us weirdo articles that they would want us to promote for their weirdo agenda. So to tell them that you can't educate me on a journalist. We've dealt with them. I'm not new to this. When I tell you at the core, there are people with an agenda trying to feed information to the unsuspecting gamer, I'm not making that up. That's the truth. And we've proved it time after time. Here goes some of the information that we proved to you. Again, we got to go here just to show you how important it is to follow the breadcrumbs. As far as Stadia increasing its footprint, the entire scope, my brother Storm and I talked about that on SSC 58. Also, check out the number show with Jack Deslip and I where we talked about that. Making the platform more attractive for partners. Again, these are all the things that you saw in the keynote that we're talking about, where we told you about this in advance. That Catherine Hassai interview that I kept bringing up on purpose because I talked to people behind the scenes. Check that out. Input Magazine. Catherine Hassai, PR manager over at Google Stadia. And my brother Storm and I talked about it on SSC 59. And lastly, making dev tools easier to bring games so they can bring games. I brought that up in the SLS feature in MM2K on May 13th, 2021. And we brought it up, me and my brother, on SSC 56. There's dots here. And what you want to do is, if you want to be in the know, you can follow the dots too. We're really not doing nothing special. We're just following the breadcrumbs. But again, there is a reason why we do what we do here. We want the truth to prevail. We want you to be able to make the most informed decision for you. And we're dedicated to doing what we got to do here on this platform in order to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, look, I had 3 more things real quick, man.
Yes, sir.
Answer these questions, but there's something I'm wondering right now.
Yes, sir.
Alan Joyce said, because I have it on my notes, industry leading Stadia Pro revenue. All right, let me start this over. Industry leading Stadia Pro revenue will now be shared with partners.
Can you say that again?
Industry leading, that might be the cloud sector. It has to be in the cloud now. Industry leading Stadia Pro revenue will now be shared with partners. Don't take my word for it. Go back and watch it. It's a short video. Alan Joyce. Check him out.
But Storm, how is an industry leading? Stadia is doing the worst out of all the cloud platforms, right?
Industry leading Stadia Pro revenue will be shared with partners. Do I want to believe what you're saying or Alan Joyce? Man?
Thank you. Now,
I want to say something else.
Go ahead, brother.
First of its kind, I put a quotation around this one, so I know it was said by somebody.
Yes.
A first of its kind program that's only possible because of the way Stadia works, right? And they're talking about paying devs and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
I remember that quote.
Every new user that follows their click to play link, like I was saying earlier, so you know it's not capped, and converts to a new subscriber after the free trial ends. Then they got into the fact that, like MM said, man, to click to play and stay share. But a first of its kind program that's only possible because of the way Stadia work, not cloud gaming, Stadia. All right. Here's another one. Kubernetes and Agonis. We talked about that at MM, and I know you probably don't remember it, man. You remember the word Kubernetes, I'm sure, man. But that's what's going to deliver the seamless multiplayer experiences for these developers and stuff. So they're talking Unity and Unreal and all that stuff that we're familiar with, and how similar some of this is to the console porting process and all that. But you just hit something. You hit the nail on the head when you talked about Windows, y'all, because people were saying over and over, you have to figure out a way to make Windows development and all this stuff possible. It seems like they're on their way to trying to do some of that. You know what I mean? As much as they can to make that even more possible. So now we could be seeing games coming. Man, look, I don't know. I don't know what else to think. I don't know what to think, but I know what we can do. We can go ahead and close out for the people because I know you're ready for this after show, man.
Well, and let's do this real quick.
Madden and FIFA, that's right.
I want to talk about Madden and FIFA real quick. I did a video where I said, and I don't have the graphics up, but that's okay. I did a video, Storm, where I said, look, man, it looks like we're getting the next generation version of FIFA for $10 cheaper than consoles. And my console brothers in these DMs, they're salty. They're salty. The sodium levels are high. What does that say about the Stadia version of FIFA? Is it its own built version? I mean, I don't know, and I'm posing that to the chat. And secondly, what does that possibly say for Madden? Because I know a lot of people say, oh, we're getting the old generation of Madden, but they didn't put Stadia anywhere. They didn't say nothing about Stadia. So could that mean that Madden is going to fit in the same vein? It's going to be its own standalone version of Stadia, possibly, with next-gen features too? What are your thoughts on that before we close out?
Well, I'll tell you right now, it was very interesting to see Google, the new Google, that after I said this on one of the episodes, we make there's too many of them, y'all.
Yes, sir.
But you remember when I said, yo, now that John Justice is gone, you think that whole let's keep everything under wraps mentality is gonna change? And I'd be damned if on social media, Twitter in particular, Google didn't hype up the fact that Stadia was getting that what is that next motion or whatever? What's the name of it?
Oh, hypermotion.
Hypermotion. I mean, come on now. Yep. So we know that next gen type things are happening because you got to look at Avatar and all of that stuff. The fact that they're going to be running on the new Snowdrop engine, next gen. We know that's next gen. We already heard that Riders Republic and other games, man. Y'all know there's no need to even go looking for this stuff. You don't need to because you're going to hear it right here, man. Stadia is already in the transition period of going to that. At one point, that Stadia 2.0, I know some people frown upon that, but they're going to be showing us that Stadia is capable of the next gen and what the next gen Stadia looks like. And again, 2K could be one of those games. FIFA, I'm proud that Stadia put that out there. I'm so proud because it's just showing to me. It's telling people why I signed up to be a founder. Project Storm signed up as a founder because y'all was talking that good tech that I like to hear. 10.7. Now, some people don't like that talk. You know, that's cool, right? But I like that talk, and you need to talk to me and all the gamers like me. So please continue to do that, Stadia. Don't listen to what these other people are saying. I want to know all the 4K goodies and all that 8K 120 that you might be bringing me. Please let me know. Just like people want to hear about these logos. See those logos? There's people out there. You saw how the Nintendo Switch reaction should tell you that I'm right. The Nintendo Switch OLED edition or whatever it's called should tell you that I'm right about the fact that people do care about 4K and next gen like features. So I just wanted to put that out there. But Madden, it is what it is. It's going to get played like crazy by me and you, so it doesn't even matter. And hundreds and thousands of other people.
Absolutely. So that's some great stuff, man. So I know it's interesting. That's why I cautioned people when people were like, "Oh, the Stadia version is going to be last gen." Maybe so, but unless they say explicitly, which they haven't yet, don't just assume it's going to be a PC port because FIFA is showing you that just because whatever is available on PC ain't necessarily going to be available for Stadia. So we don't know what's going to happen with Madden, but we will see. With that said, I'm going to close out this poll right now. Thank y'all so much for joining us. The poll, which was, do y'all think that the Stadia keynote was positive for Stadia? 98% of y'all said yes, 2% of y'all said no, with 42 votes. Hey, I know. And 97% said yes, 2% said no, with 42 votes. With that said, thank y'all so much for joining us. You can catch Project Storm on the Revolutionary Storm on Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then you can catch him on Yang Meets Yang of Gaming on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch him here on Wednesdays. Normally we run around 3 o'clock, 2-ish or 3-ish or 1-ish. You know, stay tuned to this platform to find out when. You can also catch him on SML Podcast. I'm sorry, good brother. What else were you going to say?
Nah, that was it. And I was just laughing at you, man.
And then you can check out the link to his direct channel, that AK goodness and all that crazy crispy videos. Check out the link to my brother Project Storm in the description below. Of course, you can catch me here on Stadia Dosage, doing it up for the people the best way that I can. You can catch me on MM2K videos when that opportunity presents itself. But I'm back in the swing of things, baby. Yeah, and I gotta talk to my brother. Good, brother.
My video's got the xCloud gaming stamp of approval, y'all. So you know there must be something in them. You know, I appreciate that, Sonny. If you're listening, man.
Shout out to Sonny. Yes, the great xCloud gaming. Shout out to him. We're trying to work something out with my brother. Next gen. You see when he's available, whatever. Crazy schedule still, but you know we back in the full swing of things. We'll see. So be tuned to that. Broadband bullies for life. With that said, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me get this link to this after party just in case it doesn't automatically send some of y'all over. We're going to copy that right now. Give us a few moments to switch the gears. To link to aftershow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves today. But we got a hell of an after show. We're going to talk about Xbox, xCloud, my concerns. I want to hear Storm's thoughts. And we're going to see what is the solution to all that. With all that said, thank y'all for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace, y'all.